Good evening. Cool this evening. Good evening, Mr. Magpie. Come and got a biscuit. It's getting quite cool, actually. I will sleep well tonight. And I think the wife's in the kitchen doing some filming. Oh, we'll spy on her. See? There she is. Filming the buffet that we put up today. All the knickknacks. She's even got rocks on the ground already. She calls them crystals, but they're rocks. So she's been doing all the knickknacks today. But we did have a beaut dinner. Chicken schnitzel, salad, and homemade wedges. It was yum. And I'm full of zagug. All the paving's done, the grass is in, the reticulation's in. Oh, she's doing more filming. Here she comes. We've been watching you. Morning, Scarlett.
Sort of didn't quite put the gate right, you reckon, or?
I'll fix it.
Yeah.
It's the latch I'll fix. I won't fix the bottom.
Okay, but we will have to get thick rubber at the bottom.
Get the what?
Thick rubber at the bottom. I had a look and Marlon Penny can get out of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think they could, to be
Yeah.
honest.
They can. They can crawl out of that.
Birds are twittering. So did you just have a look at that video, Scarlett, that I just made? You'd have seen the grass. Oh, sorry. Sorry about the buffering. We're going to get the internet extender this week put on. We've got it, just don't know how to do it.
Yeah, that's usually a kid job, but because nobody's been visiting anybody, I haven't been able to get the kids to do it.
No, that'll get done. It shall be done.
So he watered the grass today.
Yep, I wouldn't mind. How many years? I'll take that. But now we got something to work with. All the paving's finished. Can plan a workshop, carports, barbecue areas. None of that's a big rush, but we'll get it done soon enough. Got to start out the front of the house now. Put the new veranda on the front and pave out the front and build a fence out the front. But during these times, we're just going to sit back for a little while because obviously for what's happening. We were fortunate that our build came at the end of the start of this, basically. Because there's lots of people that aren't coming around. Or one guy, I need an aerial extension, which the guy's going to do tomorrow. And he said, yeah, it'll be $150. I said, mate, it's just a matter of plugging it in. Oh yeah, but during these times, you know, we got up our prices, we put people off. Oh, I said, okay, so when can you do it? He said, I can do it first thing in the morning. I thought, so you can do it first thing in the morning, but these are hard times and you're charging me twice. He said, yeah, normal price is only 75.
Yeah,
I'm thinking, well, we'll find someone else.
I suppose he was honest, but you know, you realise the hard times you would pay that bit extra because of those times.
I've got no problem, but
people's
double is,
attitude.
yeah, double is not right. It's sort of gouging.
Yes, people have to start featuring like shed in the corner, planters around with fruit trees and veggies.
Big pots, fruit trees.
Barbecue area, furniture. Right now, it's people will probably think, oh my God, why so many pavers?
Yeah. When we start putting sheds and gardens, and be different. They are some of the prices. Give you an idea. It shocked me. I've only been to the shop twice in 2 weeks, and I can only go now. They won't let 2 members of the household shop, just one. And of course, I know my prices. And they had streaky bacon, and I thought I'd get some of that. $17 a kilo. It's normally 11. I said, where are you getting these pigs from? Are they like highfalutin pigs? Of course, the girl didn't know what I was talking about. And I said, no, I don't want any of that price. It's ridiculous. So there's even supermarkets are doing it. Big supermarkets are doing a bit of the gouging as well. So I said, no, I shall go without pig. Not for long though, because I will weaken, but not at $17 a kilo. So tonight I made chicken schnitzel, and it was, how was it,
Yum.
wife? It was yum. Make your own homemade chicken schnitzel. Beats any bought schnitzel you'll ever get. It was tender, moist, crunchy, all the good stuff. And we've got the buffet all done now, which had been in the shed for 6-7 months or more. It's still pretty good. Needs a bit of a clean, but it's pretty good. Oh, yum. Flounder's nice. Firm white flesh. But the carpet's nice. This is a very neutral grey sort of colour. And all the bedroom furniture has to be put together so that will be done tomorrow. Yeah, Scarlett, like I say, I think, you know my feelings about why there are so many dead, because of the misdirection that took place in the early days. Terrible. Just ridiculous. The price that people are paying for the complacency is awful. We're actually having numbers reducing in Australia. We're 3 weeks ahead of you, but everyone has stayed at home. Yeah, that's true. Neutral colours make it easy. So we, like the Australians, started to lock down before we were told to do it. Like they were saying, oh, you can still send your kids to school. Hardly anyone sent their kids to school. Everyone just hunkered down. Like I say, now in a household, only one person can go to the shop, not two. So they've got all these things, and you'll even get fined. Like if I just decide I'm going to go out and do something like fishing, or go to the park, well, I get hit with a big fine. No one's been hit with the fine because everyone's not doing it. But everyone is just being smart. Even the tradesmen we've had here, like laying the pavers, we got no distance between them and us. It's like, they all understand and they're doing the same thing. But you got to be smart. Like the old saying, you know very well, Scarlett, plan for the worst, but hope for the best. And if you do that, it's definitely just keeping people away from each other. I think we've now got 27 or 28 people that have passed away in Australia. That's all we've got, which is not good because there's still 27 or 27.8 people, but it's a lot lower than other countries. And the people are getting money, so they're not worrying about the money, and any mortgages are being frozen. Business loans are frozen, business rents are being paid for by the government. So everyone realises, yes, some people aren't making as much money as they used to, and some businesses are closed, but everyone's getting money put into the bank. So money's not an issue. Boredom is an issue, for sure. Australia is a very big sporting nation, and none of that's happening. So there's been quite a lot of inventive thing, and there's lots of people doing great stuff, shopping for old people, checking up on them. And it's like, I hope some of this good that's happening now can stay around. Like, there are no homeless people on the streets, they're all in hotels. There's no restaurants open, no cafes, nothing open, no pubs, nothing. It's all closed. Just a chemist, supermarket and the doctors and the shops for buying food.
Got a muzzy.
But that's it. And everyone's saying, okay. Yeah, I mean, probably not adversely affecting you as much as some other people. But it's even like we've got 5 kids and soon to be 10 grandkids. And we haven't seen any of them for about 2.5, 3 weeks, but that's okay. We've all talked about it. One of our daughters is pregnant. We're sort of saying just don't do anything. So, and all the kids just being smart. They're just not going anywhere. They've got kids home from school, so they're just organising stuff to do around home. But overall, like I say, we have taken it seriously. And most of our cases, and I mean most of them, are from people that came from overseas. Australians who came back and brought it with them. I've no doubt, sadly, we'll lose more people. No doubt about that at all. And even the young people are starting to realise that you see these figures, like so many passed away, so many recovered, and then there's this huge figure of unrecovered people. And in amongst them are loads of young people having problems with their liver, their kidney, breathing. So the ones that aren't put down as nothing, in other words, they're not recovered, it's having adverse effects on them. So, and a lot of young people realise now that they're in the mix as well. No, we're a few weeks ahead of the USA. Our first casualty came from our state. It was a Chinese-Australian man, mid-January. Came home, unfortunately passed away. That was the first case in Australia. But as soon as that happened, and we did tell you, I think you remember hearing us saying how there's no toilet paper left on the shelves and everyone's buying tons of food. That sort of happened about 3 or 4 weeks later in the US. But everyone just hunkered down. When I did go to the shop, was it yesterday?
Yeah.
Went to the shop, I was only in there for about 15 minutes, hardly anyone in there. The shelves were okay, they weren't bare or anything like that. But everyone was keeping their distance. You could just see them like this magnetic field. Everyone sort of thought, yeah, keep 10 feet away from me and I'll keep 10 feet away from you. And yeah, so, and we won't need to go to the shop for another week. We're good with that. And it's me that has to go to the shop because the wife doesn't have a driver's license and only one member of the family can go to the shop. But that's okay. And there's genuine anxiety on people's faces, and it's understandable. But like I say, our government's made sure that everyone's getting at least $1,500 a fortnight, and any bills that you have are being frozen. Well, I think it wouldn't matter which party was in power anywhere around the globe. All the governments around the globe are doing whatever they can to make sure people have money, get fed, don't go bankrupt. It's not in the best interest to let people fall financially. But some countries, it's like in Indonesia. I was reading this morning, the Prime Minister there, Mr. Joko Widodo, says, keep your social distance, but we're not closing anything down, everything's open. And now they're just picking bodies off the street in Indonesia. It is going to be horrific, mark my words. The US is terrible at the moment. Indonesia has 260 million people, not as many as the US, but they're all crammed in together. So it's going to be a disaster in Indonesia. But I think Americans are starting to take it serious now. There's some terrible results coming out of the US. And people think, oh, it's only a couple of states and a couple of big cities. No, it's everywhere. I mean, the latest that I read on about New York in the last 10 days, 50,000 people have left New York. You can be guaranteed that some of them have the virus and they're going everywhere. which is silly. I'm pretty sure some smart people will be closing the borders of states in the US. Governors will make that decision because it's not coming from the federal government at all. We just all need to get back work. No, you need to protect your people. Anyway, how have you been? What have you been up to, Scarlett? Hello, Tony. 31 kilowatt today. Full steam ahead. I did read in some parts of New York State, they just weren't letting New Yorkers come in with their registration. New York, no, not coming in. Long Island, nope, not coming in. Purple Hat for Mystic, she'll like that.
Ooh.
So we can relax for a little while, not rushing the extension at the front of the old house, or the paving, or the wall,
Lavender's good.
because of what's happening. Time will pass and it'll get done. A purple flower will be perfect.
Oh,
Thank you, Charming. I did read your comment. I didn't answer it about I eat better than you. Now, come on. You got good food there, Charming. And if you were here, I would have given you a plate full, because I actually got maybe 3 pounds of chicken breast, 4 big chicken breasts, and I made up 8 huge schnitzels. Hello, Buttercup. Thank you very much. Very kind of you to say so. Schnitzel was yum. I always put a good dob of butter in with my olive oil. But if you don't do that, it doesn't turn out as golden and yummy. You can do it without butter, but I always put butter in there. Nice fresh salad. Homemade wedges. Oven works well. I'll give you that tip.
Oh, yeah, it does, doesn't it?
I get spoiled now in the kitchen.
Let's see if I can do it right this time. Yay, it worked, postman.
Hello, sugar lollies. Thank you very much. Well, it's sort of finished. The bit we're doing for now is finished. We're not panicking on the other stuff because of what's happening. We'll just wait. So yeah, I got out of 8 chicken breasts. How many schnitzels did I make? Got at least another 6. So I made 8. And they're big. And of course I cooked a lamb up the other night. So I don't have to do anything except fry up another schnitzel or just reheat, because I packaged all the veggies and gravy and lamb into metal containers. Just heat it up. Have you got your keyboard, Adam? You're going to have to come here, Charmy, so I can feed you. No one complains about the cooking here. Normally, in a normal week, kids would be hanging around and Oh, there is no leftover schnitzel from tonight, but I have got another 6 in the freezer. And I used Parmesan in with the breadcrumbs. Yum. That sounds like Penny.
Yeah, that's over there. No, it's
What?
Adam said, "Hi, Butterfinger."
Butterfingers.
Oh my God, that just tickled me, Adam.
When what I do with my stuff when it goes, like if I buy ground beef, comes in a big slab of kilo or 2.5 pound. What I do is I get 4 bags and I split it into 4. And I flatten it out, so it's really flat. So it's a lot smaller than when I first got it, and when you go to thaw, it takes no time at all. So I do that sort of thing in the freezer.
Did you read my comment,
Yes, that sounds nice, Adam.
Scarlett?
Oh, defrost. It's only about, I'd say, 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 inch thick maybe. So you just put it on the sink for 20 minutes. You're good to go. But we don't need food, we've got a heap of food.
Oh God, yeah.
That's good, Dave. Nothing wrong in having a garden. I'll be starting soon on raised garden beds.
Yep, I agree, Scarlett.
Popover hat, what's that?
Yeah, well, because of my hair, a beret probably wouldn't sit on.
Okay.
I'm going to call Buddy Butterfinger now. I just found that funny, sorry. You've got so many nicknames, Buttercup. I'm finally going through the boxes. Oh my God.
It's like a mystery box every time. I just stay away. I'm smart. Because you pick something out of a box, put it on a shelf, take it off, put it on the floor, pick it up off the floor, put it somewhere else. I daren't say, would you like me to give you a hand? Because
No.
like, no, there's no point. Yeah, it's good on That's a big 100 square feet. That's huge. Chicken balls with chicken gravy served over mashed. Oh, yum.
So we've got
Garlic,
chooks.
cheesy bread.
We've got
Sounds
ballless
delicious.
chooks running around.
No.
Yes, that's true, Buddy.
So we got most of the back patio, big stuff taken off. That's inside now. We've got all the air conditioners out here because the guy, as I told you, he's offside who got the virus. So he's panicking. We just said, don't panic. It's not a hot time of the year, so don't worry. Actually, they don't. Do you know the only bird that has scarlet? Only one bird does it. Has them. Which is a bit weird, but see if you can guess which bird actually has them.
Yeah, only one bird.
Or one species of bird.
No, actually, well, has a penis. It's yeah.
Have you got a Jenny sugar, a little generator? Yes, I like fresh herbs, and that'll be one of the first things I get going, to be honest.
Yeah, it's only one bird that has a penis, which presume then it has.
Come on, people. Which is the only bird that has balls
Penis.
and balls?
Well, obviously they go together.
Little ones, tiny ones, but they're there. No, it's not a pelican.
Well, that's
You might
lucky
see
Angela.
this bird in reference to things like Reuben pictures from the 15th, 16th century. Not an emu. I even have no idea what an emu is. Is that a apple emu? It's an emu.
That's no clue at all. What
It's
you
not a
just,
penguin. No.
That's no clue at all. What you just said. That's
Not
no
a raven.
clue at all.
Anyway, what it is, if you'd seen old paintings, it is the swan. Has a penis.
That's the only bird.
And in reference to 15th, 16th century art, they are in there.
Oh, well, I would have said associated with royalty.
Yeah, no, it's a pain then. I mean, hopefully you've got insurance. In Australia, if your power is off for 6 hours, you can claim everything in the fridge and freezer, and they will send you a cheque. Which rarely happens. Won't happen now because I've got solar. There's quite a lot of different varieties of swan. But of course, it's the black swan and the white swan that are predominant. And of course, the only people that are still legally today allowed to eat it are royalty. Well, they don't eat it, but they can. Me, I prefer chicken schnitzel. Don't think swan schnitzel would be that good. But we had so much schnitzel on our plate, I had to put chips in a separate container because they would not have fit.
It was nice though.
We must have been hungry because we ate it all. Surprised myself. I think China will be forced to do a lot of things different. There'll be international pressure in regards to the wet markets for sure, on particularly what they eat. There's a very heavy price being paid by the planet for the indulgence in eating rare animals. I had a mouse one called Sid, vicious, on a nearby lake. They are nasty little buggers. They're a bit like geese in the fact that they're territorial. You're AFK but listening. You never work out why the people didn't type AFC. Because you're away from the K-puter. There's always AFK, isn't it? Educate what the heck is a wet market? There are many different wet markets, like a fish monger would be considered a wet market. In other words, fresh meat. In China, they eat anything with eyes. And on many occasions, this is not the first time that the indulgence in eating rare species who then give you a virus that transmits from animal to human. That's where the world is going to put their foot down and say, no more. Start eating chicken.
Damn.
No, not an open air market. A lot of them are shops, but they're wet as in fresh meat killed and hung, and they don't refrigerate it. But like I say, enough's enough. What will happen, they'll still eat rare and endangered species. That will happen, but they'll be done in a factory under refrigeration and vacuum packed. That's the only way China will be allowed to do it. But I don't know why you have to eat an anteater. What's the point? And what's the indulgence in eating bats? Yes, and some people eat dogs and cats. I'm always aware of judging other people on what they eat. However, Australians do eat their national emblem. Otherwise, we do eat emu and we do eat kangaroo. So to question some other country eating something a bit different is probably not my place, but I've never had a virus transmit from an emu to me or a kangaroo slab of meat. So It boils down to hygiene more than anything, obviously.
Get away, Muzzy. You didn't kill him, you shoot him to me.
Oh, I killed the one that got on me.
Just got to send VMAC 10 packs of chocolate.
Is she here?
Yeah, because I
Hello, VMAC. I did not see you enter the room.
bloody auto thing typed BMAC again.
Yep. Any animal, I'm sure we could eat if it was correctly in sanitized conditions. No, kangaroo. Well, kangaroo tail is an Aboriginal delicacy,
Yeah, I don't like it.
but Australians eat kangaroo meat.
Not me. I've tasted it, don't like it.
Emu's delicious. Like a lot of look, most people like VMAC does not eat meat. However, most of the planet doesn't eat meat, believe it or not. The biggest consumers of meat are Chinese by a mile. Yeah, it does. Kangaroo, done correctly, is a bit like beef. It's very lean, makes excellent curry, and good on shish kebab skewers over the barbecue. But it's like I say, most Australians don't have kangaroo every night. It's just a thing that we do every now and then. But we have millions of them. No, that's very untrue. What happens with kangaroo, to give you an example, in the areas where crops are grown, their bodies have never been designed to eat wheat or barley or things like that. So they have trouble with their stomach and they get a bit ill. It's the kangaroos you get from the bush that live off the spinifex and the natural grasses. There's no worms in them at all.
But there is a few that do. You just...
No, there's not really worms don't affect kangaroo. It's their condition. Otherwise, they're not as well conditioned. You know, obviously, you drive through the bush like we have. You see a 7-foot kangaroo built like a muscle bodybuilder, and then you come closer to where the crops are. They're smaller, and they're scrawny looking.
Anyway, I don't eat them.
If we had no meat, we'd be eating them.
Yeah, well, I don't.
You'd be having kangaroo schnitzel instead of chicken. You say, what does it taste like? Doesn't taste like chicken.
I don't have to choose right now. I
No.
choose not to.
But most of the planet eat vegetables. Most people on the planet. And small portions of protein. The Chinese, the Koreans, the Japanese all love their meat in any form. I remember reading a study years ago thinking, well, Aussies don't mind a steak and chips and salad.
I was going to say, Aussies
But we are so way behind
Aussies are
other countries.
meat eater, really. Steak
Not-
is the biggest thing Aussies eat. Steak and sausages.
Yeah, but no, we don't have it every night.
No, but the majority do.
We'd have 90% veg and 10% protein.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to use that spray on these little buggers.
Yeah.
Maybe that grass has attracted them. There's a thought.
Well, no, we've had mozzies before.
I'm going to give them a spray. Take that little bugger. Give that to your mate. And that's for your mum. Take that.
Yes, Wrangler Dave, that can actually kill you, a kangaroo.
Yep. If you go online and Google kangaroo back claw, it'll terrify you. It'll look very much like a Velociraptor, what they call it, a Velociraptor or whatever it is. Exactly the same claw. And unfortunately, they do injure a lot of people, particularly kids, because they don't recognise them as a danger. And kangaroos, if pushed for being hungry, will eat other dead kangaroos.
Yep, I've actually seen that.
So they're not a true herbivore as such. But I hope you're keeping safe, all of you, and just being smart, doing what you have to do, minimising contact with other people. Because the US looks awful at the moment.
Are you there, VMAC? I'll just not. VMAC, are you there? Have you still been reading books? Doing your, what is it?
Work.
Reading stories.
Most of the food that I cook, other than tonight, was a big slab of chicken schnitzel, which is not often what we have. Most of our meals are 90% veg, 10% protein. That's how it works. Because we love our veg.
Hearing things.
Did that solar light go on? I don't think it got enough light.
No,
Yeah.
there's a car in the backyard.
Yes, we've got a car in the backyard now.
VMAC must have gone to get coffee or something.
That's a good idea. I might go and get myself one.
Oh my goodness.
Pensacola.
Noel's working, so she won't be on.
Is she?
Yeah.
Okie doke.
Get some more like a coffee because I've got to wash the pot up.
Well, what happens a lot of the time when you come from meat eating to mainly veg is that your body's cleansing. So a lot of that gas is not just the veg, though it is true that you're probably going to have more gas in general. But when you stop eating a lot of meat, your body does cleanse itself.
Did you
Sorry?
read Adam's?
No, sorry, I'm about to read out. Do you have we have certain seasons for things like lobster, but not really. The only license you need is inland fishing. You can fish off a beach or rocks, anywhere you like, just no fishing license. But if you want to go catch lobster, there's a lobster license, amateur lobster license. Oh, I can eat tons of onions.
Oh, red onion is my favourite in a salad, in anything. I prefer to use red than brown or white onion.
That's why I bought you those dried red onions.
Yeah. And that just tastes, I just prefer red onion.
I actually like very tangy white or brown onions in a cheese sandwich
No, see, I don't anymore.
because it's crunchy.
Oh, there's VMAC. VMAC, you still reading?
Amateurs are allowed to catch 8 lobster a day because we've got billions of them. In fact, the professional industry is closed down because 95% of the market was Chinese.
Audio books.
Oh, we've got heaps of different crabs that we're allowed to take. We have where Mel lives, where we used to live, they have crab festivals. Yeah, maybe you need to go to a vegetarian diet, Dave. Yeah, when I was a kid, lobster fishermen made nothing, and now they're multi-millionaires. Crab testicles. No, I'll have frog wire instead. I don't even like foie
No,
gras.
don't like that either.
No. Not keen on caviar. Tried all these things, don't like them.
I just gotta wash the pot up and make a coffee.
Good idea. Oh, look, I'll give you the most simplistic vegetable dish you will love. Get pumpkin, sweet potato, onion, carrots, potatoes, anything really. Chop it up fairly uniform, leave the skin on everything. Get a big bowl, put it all in there. Olive oil, mix it around, gets all coated. Then add salt, pepper. I like smoky paprika and just parsley, dried parsley flakes. Mix it all in, put it in a tray, put it in the oven on about, I'm going to give you my language, you'll have to work it out yourself, about 180 to 170 degrees Celsius for about 45, 50 minutes until it's done. The skin on the pumpkin goes nutty and yummy, and it's just delicious. And then you put it in a big plate, and then you get some sour cream. And then if you wish, some chives on top, and yeah, olive oil. Olive oil is good for coating vegetables, and then you can add your spices and herbs to it. But then you, like I say, you got a plate full of the veggies, different types of veg, nice and crunchy and yummy, with sour cream. I like hot chili sauce. The wife likes sweet chili sauce. But that's one of our go-to meals. Pull out, a quarter of a pumpkin, chop it up, 4 or 5 potatoes, 3 or 4 onions. You just got a whole pan full of veggies, mixed olive oil in, then add those. I'll do a video, because we have it quite often, Adam. I'm going to call it Adam's Vegetable Dish. There you go. It's simple, it's delicious, and I always cook more than we could possibly eat for that night, because then the next night you might just pull out a couple of sausages or a chop, and you've got all these extra veggies you just have to reheat. I've never been keen on zucchini, to be honest. Never big. No, I've tried it many ways. It's just a stick of water. Just a nice virgin olive oil is, what would I say, neutral. And it just coats the vegetables. But VMAC might be able to help you. 180 or 170 degrees Celsius. I think it's 300 F, I'm guessing. Fried cow, yeah. I like spinach, silver beet. Who's the first person to get laid? Iceman. 350 degrees, there you go. And you can do it even lower. You know what I'm talking about, Scarlett, if you want to. But I do like my pumpkin skin to be yummy and crispy. Some people won't eat vegetable skin, which is crazy, because that's where all the nutrients are. Don't take my word for it. Google. Where are all the nutrients on vegetables? On the skin. I never cut my skin off anything. Carrots, potatoes, pumpkin. Wash them, but I won't cut the skin off, because that's where the good, and it tastes great. Yeah, sesame seed oil you can. I think for me it's a bit strong, but it's like I say, I've used olive oil probably for the last 40 years. You get another neutral oil called bran oil, which is quite cheap. That's another process you can use. It's like the schnitzels I cooked in 1/4 inch of olive oil in the pan, and a big dob of butter went in with it as it was heating up, because it gives that real nutty flavour to your schnitzel, and it stops a lot of the burnt edges too. But veggies are great. I mean, vegetable dishes. If I could never have meat again, I'd be going, okay. I wouldn't be sad. I'd miss my bacon, but yeah, I'd get by. Yeah, some vegetables like your cucumber, your zucchini and eggplant, you've got to be quite delicate with them because you've got to dry that, like eggplant. Just a tip for people who eat eggplant, and it's okay, don't get me wrong. But when you get eggplant, cut it up into long lengths, like 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch thick, and then put it between paper toweling and leave it for about 2 hours. Because that way you can drain a lot of that moisture. Because people make the biggest mistake, they cut an eggplant up, make some seasoned flour and then put it in a fry pan. It spits everywhere. There's a reason why you actually got to take the moisture out. A quick way of doing it, and Scarlett knows what I'm going to say, is that you just sprinkle a fair bit of salt over it and mix it all up and leave it for an hour and then rinse it off. And that sounds silly. Why are you rinsing it off? You get more? No, because what the salt will do is draw the moisture from the plant. And then let it dry a bit more. Eggplant done well, and just seasoned flour and gently fried in butter and oil is quite nice. But not if you just cut it straight away and cook it. It will spit in your eye. It will laugh at you. Zucchini's exactly the same. It's like when I make my bread and butter pickles. I cut all my pickles up, and I've got that special serrated cutter, which makes them look really cool, like the bought ones. And the thing I do is I salt them, probably for an hour and a half, 2 hours at least. And then when you get to them, and you've got no water in the container when you've started, you just put salt with cut up cucumber. Trust me, the amount of liquid that comes out of them is staggering. And then I drain them and wash them in water. And then they're ready, when I've made my brine, to make my bread and butter pickles. I have a video on my channel if you can find the damn thing, so I couldn't lead you to it. And it's a process, but I enjoy doing it. And that same brine I'll pickle a lot of things with. But I do like bread and butter pickles. They're yum. And in your garden, as you all know, if you do garden, you get 3 flushes of cucumber, or a bit more, but 3 big ones. And you've got more cucumber than you can possibly imagine. You're never going to be able to eat it all, but you can pickle it. You just make dill pickles, if you like. If you ever make pickles with the whole little cucumbers, make sure to put a little cross down one end of the cucumber so it can release and also absorb the brine. Yep, because that adds the liquid VMAC. I've had probably the most delicious cucumber thingy a friend of mine made years ago. It was basically shredded cucumber, but it was also brined, so that was mixed in with grated carrot. What other vegetable was with it? Anyway, it looked like a salmon cake when it was finished. Obviously eggs were involved, but it was so delicious and moist and tender. A lot of faffing around. I would guarantee if one of you yelled out what you've got in your fridge of leftovers, between myself, VMAC and Scarlett alone and Buttercup, we can create a meal for you. Just because we're experts in not throwing food away. Thing about dill, word of warning. When you grow dill, grow it in a container. Because if you don't, you'll have a valley of dill after a number of years. Well, I deliberately overcook veggies when I do cook them VMAC because they're deliberate leftovers because they will become part of the next night's meal. Or I think, oh, there's enough pumpkin in that leftover and potato, I'm going to make a soup. I don't think there's anything called leftovers in my house. I called it pre-preparation for the following meal. Dill is a nightmare, trust me. 2 things you never let go. You don't plant sweet potato in an open garden or dill. They're the 2 no-nos. Six dill plants. Oh, you'd have a paddock full of them. You just can't grow them in the open ground. Just find an old big container and chuck it in there. My daughter just eats tons of dill. But and I taught her, do not grow it in, because the first year in another house she had, she grew about 4 plants and then the whole garden was just all dill. I said, I warned you. But sweet potato, I love sweet potato, but grow it in huge raised garden beds. So you can get all the sweet potato out and it doesn't go everywhere. I know that someone that says it originally came from South America, it was a vine, and they can estimate one plant can go 30 mile. There you go. And I'm not even making that up. It would just keep going from tuber to tuber, boom, keeps going. And in the wild, that's good, I suppose, but mint's pretty similar. There's several types of mint. You've got the penny, you've got the spearmint. I like the spearmint out of all of them, actually. In Australia, what they do have at the front of most people's doors, and not everyone, but most, is those money penny trees. They're like succulents, little round leaves on them, hence looks like coins, but that's grown everywhere. Here comes the coffee. Is she going to taunt you with more cake? But I've told people for years and years, and this is the truest thing you'll ever hear, even a bad gardener eats well. Because you can't stuff everything up. A friend of mine years ago made me a nasturtium salad. And I said, it tastes awful. And she said, oh, it's lovely. I said, it's not. But people eat it. Well, you probably have mint everywhere, Dave. Mint is prolific. G'day, keeping. I like the Chinese lanterns, they're cool. Well, actually, none. A lot of Australians don't have plants in the house for a very good reason. We can have plants outside all year round. There are some, but there'll be little palms, do you know what I mean? Little fronds. Yeah, they're a bit peppery, but it was actually not nice, the salad my friend made me.
Well, that's the way to go, VMAC. I'm going to have one planter box that's going to be all flowers because that's all I can grow.
No, you can grow other stuff.
Yeah, bonsai carrots.
That's all right. There's still carrots.
Everything I grow is bonsai.
But I'll have a box specially for you.
What, just me trying to grow veg? No, I can
Whatever veg that you want.
No, I'm going to do flowers. You're the veg man.
Chives are yum.
And herbs.
You can freeze chives too, Buttercup. What I do with my chives is I'll pull the whole plant out, shake it, wash it, and then I hang it upside down for a month. And then I cut it right off down the bottom, and it's semi-dry, and then I'll put it into a bucket or a bowl, and I'll leave it there for a day or two, stir it around, and then into freezer bags. No problem at all.
Yeah, there's lots of flowers I like to grow. I've got a lavender in my big chook, but I've got to try and recover that. I sort of neglected it. Well, I couldn't get to it for a while.
Mm.
So poor thing, I feel really guilty. I have to try and revive my
Yeah, VMAC likes hokey pokey plants.
Yes, well, I can't
And
grow
Ed's cat
that.
like to do his bathroom duties. I've got a little tip for you, Adam. This is the simplest, and for all the people, and this is not cruel to cats, but it certainly keeps them away. I want you to find the cheapest large container of white or black pepper, ground pepper. What I want you to do is watch where those cats go in your garden and put dobs of pepper everywhere. Doesn't affect your plants at all. But cats are curious beasts and they sniff and then they don't come back. They sneeze for about 3 days, but it's a memory thing. They go, I'm not going to Adam's place anymore. That shit, whatever that was, stuff he's got is terrible.
Catnip, yeah.
But black or white pepper. And yeah, it's like, I mean, this is another old one. You put the same ingredients on dog turds on your front lawn. You know when that dog always shits on your lawn? Well, you know he comes back the next day and he sniffs what he did yesterday. See what I just said? He sniffs what he did yesterday. White pepper on old turd keeps new turd away.
If you're getting chocolate, Lee Mac, bring me some. I missed, what does Butty freeze?
Cats don't like things like vinegar. So if you've got a tomcat spraying on your door, and we all know what that smells like, spray some vinegar on there. And they don't like that at all. Usually just plain old cheap white vinegar. But pepper is the secret. And that one taught to me about on turds, because this place, an old bloke said, this prick brings his dog every morning, stops there and he does a great turd. I said, what about the dog? He said, no, I mean the dog. And I said, what do you do about it? He said, well, he doesn't come back anymore because he sprinkled white pepper all over the old turd. Instead of him picking it up, throwing it in and growling, he left it there. Put pepper on it.
Yes, that will keep them away too, Buttercup.
What's
Your
that?
dog's out on them.
Yep, there's plenty of stuff that comes out the kitchen that you can feed your chickens. Oh, I don't mind cats, but the cats I've always had the mind of their own. They don't come inside the house. They come and say, g'day to you, catch the mice. That's okay, we have a deal. No one. I saw this on a video years ago. Neighbourhood dogs used to come over and dig in this bloke's front garden. He was furious. He couldn't do anything about it. And he came up with this ingenious plan. He got some talcum powder, put it inside balloons.
Yeah.
And the dogs came over, and he had a little air rifle, was never aiming at the dogs, but aimed at the balloons. It scared the hell out of these dogs. Big puff, talcum powder going in the air, dogs barking and yelping. And
But even just burying a blown up balloon and the dog actually busts it.
what it is,
deters them.
animals, they're intelligent to a degree, but they have immaculate memories. And if they have a bad experience somewhere, be it the smell of pepper or something like that, they won't go back. They're creatures of habit. They don't want to sniff pepper. No, I'm the same. I have shot a lot of animals in my life, but I've eaten every one of them. I would get angry if I heard someone just shooting for fun. That annoys the shit out of me.
No, that would have been a good video, Adam.
But animals are cool, let's be honest. I mean, I love every morning getting up, watching the sun come up, and the birds come around. They sort of talk to you without actually speaking in English. They speak in Birdinese,
Yeah.
but I get it.
Birdinese.
It's like we have several birds that will always come to us now because they're familiar with us. And that's what happens. Even when we get little dogs, they're not going to be bothered by it because they'll see that we don't react. And we'll teach the dogs not to react. There's a bit of carrot cake left in there, isn't there?
Yes, you can have it.
Do you want some?
No.
All right, I'll force myself to eat it so we don't throw it away.
Maybe I should have put it in the fridge. No?
I don't know. What are you saying? It's off.
No, it won't be off. It's been cool all day. Way up. Oh, no hedgehogs, Buddy. So they should be visiting your garden now. Do you put like treats out for them? Yeah, I'm glad our birds are coming back since all the construction stopped. We get a butcher bird that comes. Just point over there, just to the edge.
The what?
Point over to the edge because you can see that in the camera. Go walk to it.
They won't be able to see that.
Yeah,
Anyway, up here there's a little bit.
yeah. We have a butcher bird. Yeah, they can see your legs. That'll make Buddy happy.
Carrot cake. Yum. I noticed when I was in the kitchen that on the big buffet that you put in there today, all your little knick-knack cups have come out, and
I haven't finished
you're
yet.
going to have to do a video and show everyone that.
Yeah, no, keeping everything sloped, so no, we're not going to have like a tidal wave on all the pavers.
No, it's angled.
Yeah, keeping just said, what are you going to do when it rains with all the stonework? It's going to be like a tidal wave.
Well, I said all the levels before they started paving. And where the grass is where it will fall.
And that's also under that is where the soak well is as well, so.
Yep. Make baby food, carrot cake. Okay. It is, it's yum too. Moist.
Yeah, she makes a good carrot cake at that baker, doesn't she? Better than from the, I mean the supermarket.
No, super one's crap.
There's one brand they sell okay, but she does make a good carrot cake. Yeah, is that what you mean, Scarlett? Pureed, oh okay. I would never have thought that.
I make it, but I use grated carrot.
Yeah, you make it, but for the cost that this baker makes and sells, we just buy it.
I like raisins, but the wife doesn't. But
No. You
yeah,
like-
this is cream cheese frosting.
Yeah, cream cheese, yum. No, I don't like raisins in my carrot cake.
Grated,
Yeah, no,
grated carrot just gives the cake a little bit of texture.
This carrot cake we buy is not that sweet.
Adam, relax. I'm eating the next piece on your behalf. No one else. No VMAC. No one. Just
I'll just have a bite. I don't want a whole bit.
it is moist and yum though.
And the cinnamon. Yum.
Yeah, I like pineapple, raisin. I like all those sort of things. But you add raisin to anything, and the wife goes, "What's that?"
That's like some people, well, I don't eat baked puddings, but people add raisins to that.
That's right, Adam. You put on no weight. I'm doing it for you.
As soon as you have the first bite,
No, I'm not big on cinnamon.
oh, that's got a fair bit of cinnamon in it.
No, it hasn't.
Oh, I think it has. I love it.
But
Love
people
cinnamon.
overdo it. Like when people make custard tarts, all I've ever used is just a little scraping of nutmeg. But some people whack the cinnamon on top, it's just too strong.
Yeah, I love cinnamon. Man, do I put it thick on my porridge? Whoa. I love the smell and the taste.
I agree with you, Dave. I do like making things from scratch.
But we know how this baker makes it, so we don't mind buying from her.
And this is not sweet at all.
No, it's not.
No, very little sugar. Frosting's probably the only thing that's got sugar in it. There's a good English word. Stop faffing around.
Yeah, see, that's something I don't have a lot of gadgets. I have, what have I got? A stick blender, wooden spoon, Well, I've got a microwave and that, but it's a hand mixer.
Yeah, it's a leather seat I'm sitting on.
Macaroon with cinnamon. Oh.
I just use
macaroon.
a wooden spoon in most of my cooking.
Oh my god, I can't even say it. Moroccan macaroon. Macaroon's a biscuit, isn't it?
Yeah. What did you say?
I just read it. Mayback wrote she makes a Moroccan and I read it as a macaroon.
Wow.
Oh, gee.
It's close. All right. Rest of you? A few crumbs there. Go for it. My processor is normally my hands.
I don't have a dishwasher either.
No, we don't believe in dishwashers.
No, it doesn't mean no one else can have one.
I've found, and the ladies are here and they can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I've done for many years. Whenever I'm making something, I minimise the amount of mixing. I don't overmix. You sometimes can have a flop because you've overmixed, particularly when you're using flour or you're doing anything like that. So if you keep it simple, it usually turns out pretty good. It's when you overthink the process that you can make stuff-ups and it becomes hard and rubbery, and I'm talking about all types of food. I don't like dishwashers because most people are lazy, and I've been to people's places and they'll say, you must stay for dinner, and they reach for the dishwasher, and I said, when were they washed? She said, oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, but
It's like they use it for storage.
if you use it,
I don't like that.
if you use it properly, it's fine. And I understand people use them when they've got big families, but
Big families means lots of arms and legs, and the dishes can be done in no time.
all our kids have got them.
See, when I make a chicken burger, I'll get a fresh chicken breast, a very sharp knife, and I'll cut it into shreds and cut it again. So I have minced chicken, and then I use the back of a very heavy bladed knife, squish it, then add the herbs, spices, etc., etc. And there you go.
Yeah, that's right, VMAC. If you've got a good one and use it correctly, I agree. But it's just, I've seen people that don't, and then I won't even have a coffee at their house.
A lot of little tricks to do with making any sort of meatballs, chicken balls, burgers, is if you just get a couple of slices of bread of your choosing and pull out all the middle bit and then throw it in the mix of whatever meat you're doing, it makes it lighter. Like if you're making meatballs or chicken balls, they're tender, they fall apart nicely, but do hold together while you're cooking. Or you can end up with those little rubber things that you have on your plate.
Oh, there you go, VMAC. So you're hand washing now because you're at home more?
No, I've always thought dishwashers are dirty places.
Yeah, to some people, you're right, but like VMAC says, you use them correctly and
Well-
empty them when they're done, that's fine.
Yeah, it's like Dave just said that he uses a meat grinder, but the best way to get minced whatever meat you're doing is really just do it once.
And go to the butcher.
No, do it once as in processing, because if you just keep taking it down to a fine paste, again, you end up with very hard, lumpy, chewy food. The coarser your meat is when you're making anything like burgers or meatballs, the better. Because there's two things that happen. You're not dispersing the fat. You've got little chunks of fat melting when you're cooking. But that secret of throwing in a couple of middle bits of bread and mixing it in with the mix certainly makes some magnificent meatballs of whatever type you like. And it's just 2 extra slices of inner of bread. You can actually flavour your meatballs with the bread. What I mean is you get the bread and you might put it in just the tiniest bit of milk, just so it's damp. And then all your herbs and spices add to the bread and then add that to the meat. I will guarantee you 100% VMAC, if you had a dishwasher and I had a sink, we're standing side by side, and I wouldn't be rushing, and we had 6 people over for dinner. Well, by the time you have loaded your dishwasher, turned on the process, I'm half finished. And then by the time you sat back saying, arms folded, I'm done, and I'd say, well, I'm done. And it's drying on the edge of the dish rack, on top of the sink. And I will wipe those dishes, forks, knives, and put them away. Most people will go to the dishwasher and think, oh, that's right, I've got some plates in there, put in there about last week sometime. I'll use them to put my food on tonight. Really? I'm not saying you're like that, VMAC, but loads of people think a dishwasher is a plate storage facility. They don't put their bloody plates away, they leave them in there.
Yeah, I reckon VMAC's got it down to fine art. Yeah. See, I wash up and let it dry in the rack. I hardly ever dry the dishes. So I reckon if you're going to do it that way, just let them air dry.
Right,
I
so,
don't put them away wet.
no.
I let them sit there till they dry on their own.
And I've always been a rinser. Just a quick rinse. Just run the tap very low and just wipe off all the gunk so the plates are reasonably clean before they get washed.
Oh, you bought Wagyu burgers, Buddy. Yeah, we've had them.
Wagyu.
Oh yeah, after watching Sid's
Yeah.
video. Wagyu. Yep. You've called it the wrong name, so you have to keep it up now.
That cup and the handle looks like Prince Charles. Hello, everybody. I'm feeling much better tonight.
You reckon it's his ears?
I got Camilla to give me a good rub down. But she did it with a rake. She's a cruel woman. Tally-ho. Poor old Prince Charles.
It's very quiet tonight, isn't it? No wind.
No, and no
No.
one's driving around.
Like last night was windy.
She's working.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's working, Adam. When you get back, I'll give you a star. If you say I'm back. Gotta hand the stars out.
I met my gal by the gasworks wall, a dirty old town, dirty old town.
It'll take me a couple of days, but I'll get through the boxes.
Yes, it's rather cruel of me, Buttercup, but true. Remember when I was at school, they used to just beat me? Not because I was royalty, just because I was ugly. Mind you, ugly is as ugly does.
I'm going to ask you a question.
I was asked a question, I do apologise. Do you use cast iron sets? Yes, I have several good cast iron pans.
They're damn heavy.
And cast iron Dutch ovens, etc., etc. Cast iron is superb to cook with. Well, actually, I don't have any money, Buttercup. My mother has a lot of money. Yes, mind you, if you live my life, you'd understand. My mother's going to live longer than Victoria. I'll be dead just before I become king.
How old is he now?
71, 72, I'm guessing.
And how old's his mum?
Or 93, something like that, 94.
And the Queen Mother lived to
102.
2.
She was never accepted at the time. It was funny because when she was, I think it was Windsor Castle that got bombed slightly. But she was always ridiculed because most of London was getting bombed. And she would always say things like, I really empathise with you people, it's so sad. And people would yell at her saying, you don't know shit. And then, where she stayed got bombed. So that sort of broke the ice a bit. No, I'll never be king, but maybe Camilla will.
Oh,
Camilla's really a man. I haven't told many people this, but you can't be that ugly and be a woman, seriously. Mind you, she's a great companion. We play polo and ruggers.
well,
Pretty good.
He knew her before he knew Princess Diana.
Mm.
Nobody likes Camilla.
Now listen, Camilla doesn't even like Camilla. She cracks.
Why does nobody like her?
I don't know. Maybe because she has a horse's ass for a face. Could be,
HMO.
I'm not sure. But
Oh, sorry.
mind
keep
you,
reading.
I'm no shining rose myself. Yes, Camilla has a face for radio. She can't stand in front of the camera because it will crack. She must have a big wazoo that does amazing things, though I've never seen it myself.
Oh, God.
As I say, we're just rugger friends.
The seeds is cast iron. Pots are heavy. I sometimes have trouble. I can't lift them when there's food in them.
One of
Okay.
my cast iron pots my son gave me was worth about $380. So they're good stuff.
And I don't wash them up. Seeds does.
No, that's my job. Fig leaf in the room, tra-la-la-la-la, there's a fig leaf in the room. Tra-la-la, King Shamal, you little fig leaf wiggler. You got cherub cheeks and a fig leaf wiggle. Fig leaf, silly limits. To manoeuvre. Yeah, they're quite heavy. I know you struggle sometimes, don't you?
Yes, I do. That big blue one, I can't lift that when there's food in it.
How could I miss you, fig leaf? All the streets have your pictures
Oh, yes.
on all the corners.
Yes, VMAC, you get 3. Oh, and I haven't seen Adam come back yet, so Adam doesn't get one. I'm going to do a sign with stars on it
Right.
and show yous. Yeah, we've got one from my mum. Same as I found mum's whacking
Yes.
stick.
I've got a pot that now, because I was given that a good 15 years ago, wasn't I? It's a little thin cast iron pot that would be no more than
It was for
2 pints. It's
both
quite small.
of us.
Yes, but she specifically said I would use it.
Yeah, so do I.
And it was made in 1880. So that makes it nearly 140 years old. And it's just perfect. For, if you wanted to, say, braised steak and onion, you get a little bit of, say, shin beef or chuck steak and put onions on the bottom, make a little sort of gravy up, put it in the oven, forget about it. You know, on a fairly medium to low heat. And it just is superb.
Yes, I've got mum's whacking stick. That was her great-grandma's. You know, when they used to whack the carpets, take them outside and whack them?
Oh, yeah.
I've got that.
Yeah, mine are crusade, the big ones,
Yeah.
the crusades.
Go VMAC.
Les Crusades.
VMAC said almost as old as you.
Actually, not as old as me, but, you know, when I was younger, I probably saw a few that were older than me.
Oh, yes, you get a star.
It's just a great medium to cook on. Like, if you really want a juicy steak, and I mean juicy, you have an extremely hot cast iron fry pan. And you don't oil the pan. This is the biggest mistake people make. Everyone I see puts oil in the pan.
Well, you said
Oil
everything
the steak.
anyway.
Oil the steak.
Because
Then put it in the pan.
your cast
And
iron,
then don't touch it.
your cast iron pan is slightly oiled anyway after you clean it.
Well, it's seasoned. It's not oiled
Yeah.
to extent. But yeah, that's the way to do it. When you cook a good steak, be it on grill or in fry pan, oil the steak, not the pan. If you think about it, why would you oil the whole pan and you're not using all that oil? It doesn't matter how old your cooking appliances are, it's how good you are at cooking with them.
And looking after them.
Cooking is an art form. You are like an alchemist, because without doubt, if one of you came to my house once a month and I made you the same meal for 12 months of the year, you'd say each time, this is really nice, but it's slightly different, because I'm an alchemist in the kitchen. I will see what I have on hand at the time, and then I'll just work with it, taste it, the flavour. And yep, every month you come around for the same meal, you say it's nearly the same as last month. And you know the relevance and all of that? It doesn't matter. Because I only cook on one principle, taste. That's it. Taste has to be there first. Because you may look at a meal and think, oh, that looks fantastic. But if it tastes like crap, it doesn't matter how good it looks. And I can tell you the truth is, and people have disagreed with me over the years, but a good cook generally becomes from a good gardener. If you're a good gardener, you appreciate the ingredients you're working with as a cook, and vice versa. Because you can give somebody the best ingredients of food in the world and they'll destroy it, because they have no concept of how to cook it, how to prepare it, what temperature to cook it at, etc. But you could give a lump of chewy, stringy meat to Buttercup and you sit down and you think, man, this is so tender, it's beautiful. Because it's the alchemist within the cook that you end up with the meal that's served to you.
Yes, if it's a good stainless steel, it's okay.
No, I don't like the taste of fig leaves at all. Figs are nice. But let's be honest, King Shamo, you don't have the largest fig leaf in the county. But still, you're the king. Non-stick pans have their purpose. Let's not argue about it. They do. But certain foods certainly have a testament to give you a great meal using cast iron, like slow cooking in particular. Because I can tell you when I've got to the point where I think, yeah, that stew's just about done, I take it off, leave the lid on, put it on a wooden board, and I come back in 2 hours, it's still hot, and it's finished cooking off the stove. But if you saw me making meals, you'd be thinking, you never measure. I go, no, never measure. A taste.
Well, we've got a few videos to do because there's a few things we have to use.
In
The
that little casting.
the hamburger helper that Danny sent, and I found, what did I find? Cornmeal muffins or something like that.
No, that's right. Because Buttercup, like I said, if we all made the same meal tonight and we all got to taste each other's version, it'd be different. Still be good. And different's okay. I don't mind different.
Adam's not bragging, but his fig leaf is adequate.
Is that a big trunk with a small branch? Are you talking about? Or? You can slow cook in just about any cooking appliance.
Yeah.
You don't need a slow cooker to slow cook.
We had one once, and when we had to move, look after Mum, we got rid of a lot of stuff, and I don't want to get one again. The only thing that I probably would invest in, and that's for me, would be a rice cooker.
I cook rice in a pan. I boil it, I keep an eye on it, I stir it, I taste it and think, that's al dente.
Yeah,
It's
well,
cooked.
that's one thing I can say. Give me a rice cooker. I just whack it on. Done.
My daughter made rice in a microwave about a month ago and she couldn't stop laughing. She did me a little video. It was like a discus disc like they throw at the Olympics. She said it's turned into rubber. So I showed her how I cook rice, and she made my version of stir-fried rice, and she was so proud. Her husband was so happy he had it for breakfast the next morning as well.
That's why we originally bought it, VMAC, because we were busy doing stuff. We did use the slow cooker. It's not that it wasn't any good, but we'd done so long without all that sort of stuff because of how we were moving and living all the time.
I'm happy to cook on really low. The stove has just got the smallest of flames, like it's hardly visible, and a good Dutch oven will actually be brilliant.
Yeah, but
to slow cook on for hours.
I'm the first. What do I do if you're cooking something and you say it'll be fine, leave it on low, and we've got to, well, can't now, but when we used to go to the shop, I just couldn't walk out the house
No, you
with
wouldn't
it
let
on.
me.
No.
So I turn it off. But it didn't matter because I just turned it on when I got back home.
I didn't even let him leave the slow cooker on if we left the house.
Someone did ask me the other day what my signature dish was, and it was remiss of me not to mention the dish that is the most simplistic dish, but I love it, and that is pea and ham soup. It's yellow split pea and ham. Nothing else.
Yeah, see.
Maybe a pinch of black pepper.
See, that's why I want a rice cooker, VMAC, because I love brown rice. And you're right, brown rice takes longer. And I couldn't be bothered to stand there either. So.
And it doesn't keep well for a long period. 3 months, they say. Brown rice, as soon as you open it. White rice, 5,000 years.
You just buy a smaller packet, but that's why I want to get a rice cooker, is for the brown rice.
A ham hock. That's the only way to make pea and ham soup. Slowly cook it off the bone. When the gristle and the bone are removed and all the marrow has been induced into the stock, add yellow split peas. Keep stirring. Turn off at slow, low heat. 50, 60 minutes later, you have the most delicious soup in the world. Nutritious. You have a foot of snow in your garden. Well, maybe spring's not coming to you.
Yeah, that's what I'll do, VMAC. It's more, you don't really like brown rice, do you?
I don't mind it, but I do like it mixed with something else. Like as in adding pineapple and capsicum and things to make it like a savoury rice. Mm. Brown rice on its own is a bit,
I see, I love brown rice.
But we shall tootle off shortly, people. It's cool here. It's about 22 degrees. Yeah, I know. Buttercup will get the bikini on, but for us it's cool.
I got a dressing gown on. That's what Seeds uses, yellow split peas.
Yeah, the difference between yellow split pea and green split pea is there is a slight bitterness to green peas. Yellow split peas are not a lot sweeter, but they're not bitter at all.
My mum used to cook with brown lentils.
Yeah. .22 tanning weather. You'd be here this time of year, and we've got jumpers and Ugg boots on. You'd be laying out in the path saying, Roll me over. I want some more tanning. Be like, it's too cold. Too cold.
Well, we would be saying that.
Yes. I've had couscous done really well. Very
Yeah,
fluffy.
I like couscous.
But a lot of people make couscous and it's gluggy and it's not pleasant at all. I mean, it's polenta. Slow cooking beans. Beans take about 3 minutes to cook, Dave. What are you talking about?
Well, it depends what
You're not
beans.
talking about green string beans, are you?
Depends what beans he's talking about.
Must be like black eye or something like that. One of my favourite beans is butter bean. Buttercup, butter bean. Yum.
Yes, but it's put a whole new meaning to that word since someone else gets called that.
True. Let it melt, Shamo. Brown bread in a can. Red beans, kidney beans. Must be making some chili. Canned brown bread.
Canned
Doesn't
brown
sound
bread?
natural. Doesn't sound natural to me, Adam.
I've never heard of it.
Do you know how easy it is to make bread? When I make pumpkin soup, I will buy a tin of organic butter beans and I'll make the soup and I use a potato masher to break it down at the end. So it's quite thick, but then when I'm finished doing that, I add the tin of butter beans to it. Just gives that little surprise in your bowl that you're eating soup and then you get a butter bean. Yum. Well, believe it or not, in the next 4 days it's going to be 32, 34, 35. Yeah, our autumn's a bit different than your autumn. So we have these little warm spells that kick in. Now, I don't think butters would be sunbaking in 35-degree heat. I think not. But that's not too bad for us.
Well, I'm going to have to Google canned brown bread.
I like German black bread, that's nice. With butter, cheese, fruit. It's very heavy bread. What's the one that you, pumpernickel, you get every now and then?
Pumpernickel, love that with cheese,
Yeah.
pickles.
We still do it some nights. We just can't be, well, I can't be bothered cooking, and we'll just get fruit, tomatoes, cheese, pickles, maybe some crackers, and that's our meal.
Are you having this on, Adam?
What's that?
Bread in a can.
No, years ago they used to get bread in a can. It was crap. Army issue.
Yes, I love rye bread.
That's probably one of my favourite breads, rye bread. Pumpernickel is a standard German heavy bread buttercup, and it's usually made with natural ingredients that last for about, seriously, 2 weeks, doesn't it? Lasts quite a
Yeah.
long time
There's
because it's so dense.
there's rye bread, there's black bread, there's dark bread, pumpernickel bread.
Well, bread in a can was an army issue, Adam, at one stage. Like I say, it was crap. That's the reports from the front. Oh, what's this? Don't even look like bread. Pumpernickel. But bread is really easy to make, and you can make it differently. You can make flatbread, you can make buns, rolls, loaves. Depends what you want to do. Oh, we've never liked white bread on its own,
I don't
as a
like
rule.
That's probably
Wholemeal would be the most we eat.
yeah, because you've got no choice because that's what I like to buy. But I don't like. I can't really eat white bread.
It sounds
anyway.
unnatural, Adam. That's why. Bread on a can. Spam was one of the best inventions at the time, if you think about it. Because at least if you were pulling out a can of spam in the middle of a jungle or desert, and it was something half edible, had a bit of fat in it, a bit of taste, too much salt, but one of the things when I was a kid, Buttercup will back me up, that we get regularly as kids is fried bread.
Oh yes,
And that would be made from a roast, as in the fat drippings that came off the roast. A bit of that was put into a pan, and just slices of bread were put in there and fried.
Or buy some bread and then put it on after you've done a barbecue, just as it's finishing. Man, love that.
Well, I do know that some expert once told me, Buttercup, that you can't have a egg butty. Only in white bread is all you can have it. Which I tend to disagree with. I get it though. And the egg's got to be slightly runny, so it goes all between your fingers.
Well, you'll have to show us the video on that, Adam.
You can make spam edible, but usually it's a case of frying the damn thing so you get a bit of a crust on it. And again, you could use a bit of butter with the oil. Yeah, it's carbs. If you eat too much carbs, and that can include potatoes, any flour product, pasta, yeah, you can end up with a big bum. Let's just not mince any words here. Because it will hang on and think, oh, well, we'll just stay around. We'll hang around, this is good here.
Man, when Dad would do a barbecue, he could. It was basically a whole loaf of bread got fried
Yeah, I mean, I used
on the
to.
barbie.
I'd be the first one down as a kid trying to get some dripping, have bread and dripping. Loved dripping as a kid. Imagine kids today going down, oh, can I have some dripping? We go, I'm not eating that white crap.
Yeah, I even ate that as a kid.
Delicious. But I don't remember as a kid having a huge variety of food. Loads of veggies, loads of broths, casseroles as in, I don't know, mystery meats, lots of barley, but not a huge variety of food.
That's right, Buddy. If you want fried bread, have fried bread. Oh, that was my knee.
Spam carbonara. Yeah, you do that.
Yeah, that's what I said, Adam. I want to see a video on that. Yeah. I see, I don't like crackle.
I love crackle.
Seeds gets all that when he makes a pork roast.
When are you going to sing to Adam Kay? When the song inspires itself within me.
Iceman.
There's not many Iceman songs.
Oh, really, V-Mac?
Casserole can be anything. Veggie casserole, chicken casserole.
Mum used to make, I suppose it was a casserole, but it was like in a, like a terrine. They call it Schlemmerkopf in German. It was like an orange-coloured pottery.
Yeah, like what we would call.
What do you
What's
call
that sort of glassy material that was used in the 70s, Buttercup? You know what I'm trying to say.
Well, it wasn't glass though. It was
Trying to think of what it was called.
like pottery, but treated that you could cook in it. And Mum used
Pyrex. That's what I'm thinking, Buttercup. Remember Pyrex?
No, well, that's not what Mum had. It wasn't a Pyrex dish, and it had a lid on it. And Mum would make something in the oven.
Can't beat a big cast iron pot full of tucker, whatever's in there. Chicharrones. We call them pork crackly.
Oh, we just use unsalted butter.
I know, Dave. I know you from a very long time ago, but your name was never Dave. Sam. I have a memory like you would not imagine.
Yeah, now this wasn't a Pyrex that Mum used. I don't know what the English word is. I'll have to try and find it, but it was an orange colour, pottery, and Mum used to cook stuff in that in the oven.
Yeah, but I mean, casseroles were thrown together, whatever's
Yeah.
around.
Yeah. Fair few Aussies used to cook casseroles.
One of
for
the
a phase.
probably main casserole in Australia would have been lamb. I suppose the lamb casserole, veggie, onion, carrots. Pretty good. And you can make it a cream casserole. You could make it a broth casserole. It didn't really matter.
Yeah, they do still make Pyrex. You can get some really nice ones now, actually.
I never liked Pyrex at all. It's too bloody hot to handle, for starters. And it always had a glass lid on top of it. You think it'd smash.
But they were easy to clean. You could burn the hell out of them, and you could still clean them easy.
One of the most simplistic meals you can ever make, which is always tastes good, but my wife doesn't particularly like it, is that you get chicken pieces,
And
roast them in the oven till they're cooked. Take them out, put them in a casserole dish or a Dutch oven. Big tin of apricot nectar poured over the top of it, and a packet of very cheap French onion soup. Put it back in the oven for about 2 hours on really low, and you have apricot chicken. Lip-smacking apricot chicken.
oh boy, that's not good, Adam.
What's that? Sometimes I remember people saying it used to explode Pyrex. Ice baby. I'm not sure. I'll think about it. I will sing Adam a song eventually.
No, Ice Ice Baby. I don't think that's a real good song for it to sing for Adam. Oh,
See,
okay.
a song that would come to mind would be something for Adam like, that's what my mama told me when I was about knee high. Walk tall, walk straight, and look the world right in the eye. Something like that.
Yeah, Adam, I know.
Someone once said to me, you sang Shamo a love song. I said, have you ever seen his fig leaf?
I said that.
Oh la la.
Yeah, well, I've still got stuff to send Butty and Danny, but that
Yes.
ain't happening for a little while. Sorry, girls.
It will happen.
It will happen. I've got it all there ready.
Never send me brown bread in a can, Adam. I will find you. I don't know who you are, but I will find you. And when I find you, Liam Neeson Lane, of course. Yep, it's on pause. The world is on pause, but your life goes on.
Yeah.
You must learn to laugh more. It's an absurd situation we're in. You send me snow in a can, I'll send you heat in a can. A little bit of Australian summer. Well, I wouldn't say I need a banana leaf, but have you ever seen those elephant plants?
Oh my God.
Don't sell yourself short.
Elephant ears. Oh,
Oh, no, chicken in a
No, I
can.
don't like chicken in a can.
Don't do chicken in a can. The only reason you don't eat chicken from a can is no cluck in it.
We did buy it once.
I've got
try
some
it.
in the cupboard
Oh, have you?
that we bought. I was going to show people how to make very simple chicken noodle soup. The chicken in the can is like, it's a hotel of last resort.
I bet you it's not chicken.
Can you imagine the noise
Yes.
the chicken makes
Very
when you
much.
try and stuff it into a can? Oh, I don't want to go in it. Brrr.
There's chocolate in a can. Now that's, I mean, oh my God, Adam.
What did he say? I did not see.
Butterballs. First it's
Butterball?
Butterfingers. Man, I thought I was bad with my typos.
I've tried Hershey's, not that keen on it, to be honest. Yeah, I used to kill chickens all the time. I used to do a dozen at a time, Dave. Because I'd breed them up to that certain weight. Finish cleaning them in about an hour. Let them cool down. And put them in the freezer. Homegrown chunky chicken. Yum.
Yeah, Adam, that happens to me. You actually type the right word, and sometimes it just changes it as you hit enter.
I used to have a hell of trouble on my smaller iPhone 7. If you type in away and I'd say, oh, I never wrote that.
Yeah.
I'm going for a wee, but I'll be right back. Do you need anything?
Up here.
Papia?
Now don't forget to flush. Only shake twice and wash your hands.
In that order?
Well, just careful in what order. Oh yeah, you were going to bust out the fountain, VMAC. When all this is done, I can then, and we've got the setup out the back here, invite the girls round when we can have more than 2 people in a area. I'm going to do the chocolate fountain that Butty sent me. And I've had to hide the chocolate that goes in it because seeds will find it. Oh, yum, pineapple. gee, we Seth bought chocolate yesterday and I forgot to have mine. I have a Kit Kat. You Google auto-correct mistakes and stuff. God, there's some funny ones out there. People actually, or YouTube, people actually put them up, their mistakes.
I know some for I got chills. They're multiplying.
Oh, yeah.
Da 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 da. And there would be Buttercup. You better shape up, cause I need a man.
That's your song, Adam. I got chills. Go and sing it all. You don't know the words.
I'm tired. Pineapple's yum.
Oh yeah, pineapple's very good
Very
for you.
good antioxidant.
Pineapple juice, oh, I love
Mind
pineapple.
you, I don't imagine you'll be growing too many pineapple trees in Wales.
Pineapple trees. Okay, that's something you're not telling me.
No, I'm just kidding. Plants, but I said trees. Stay away from your window. Da 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 da. Rod Stewart sings like he's choking on canned chicken or bread in a can. Woohoo!
There you go. It's all right, Buddy. I'll share his
Yes,
legs
I
with
don't
you.
think you could. You know, if you made all these different meals and you grated chocolate on top, no
Oh,
one's going to
yeah.
complain.
Oh, they do. They do now cook with chocolate and gravies and
Chili.
sauces and all sorts. Chocolate and banana goes really good together.
Actually, I must make my fried bananas. I like them. They're nice.
Yeah, well, if it's got chocolate on it, Adam, I suppose maybe I'd think about trying it because the chocolate would maybe disguise it. Yeah, that's a monorail. I'm just kidding.
Oh, it's the Magpie Express. No, but some nights when the wind is not blowing in a certain direction, we
Yes,
can hear the train.
You can hear it.
And some nights we can't hear the planes, but then some nights the planes they feel like they're taking off in the driveway. But there are no planes flying at the moment.
And have you noticed there's been no men in shorts playing sport?
No noise in the background. Sport is outlawed at the moment. I've been to cities that never close down. From New York to Rio and old London town. But no matter how far or how wide I may roam, I still call Australia home. All the sons and daughters spinning around the world, away from their family and friends. And as the world gets older and colder, I know where my journey ends, etc., etc., etc. I think the bees have got jumpers on because it's cold.
No, it's alright calling it butty, because that's what I call it, but I do it B-U-double-T-Y. Yeah, sound because it's clear night. You can hear all the sounds and all things, as Mel says. All things.
Well, you probably need to change shorts about that time, Dave. Look down and go, whoops, yeah. I was just doing that when I remember the movie Blazing Saddles.
Doing what?
Don't you remember the movie Blazing Saddles?
No.
They sit around farting around the campfire after eating beans.
Oh, yeah.
You just imagine them making a romantic song like, put your warm and tender switchblade next to mine.
You serenade you, VMAC.
It's about the only thing that has not dropped. What were we referencing the conversation to? I've just come back.
Butty. Bottom.
Bottoms? No, mine seems to have stayed in the same place. Probably more fortune than design, but all's well. One of the funniest scenes I remember with Gene Wilder is when him and Richard Pryor are walking through the prison and kept saying, act tough, act tough. Yeah, I'm acting tough.
Well, it's been a lot more quiet lately around
Yeah,
here.
we live in a city of about 2.5 million people, but we're out near the river and near the ocean, so
Yeah, and you can hear the planes sometimes, but you sort of, I don't know, we're used to it, eh?
yes, Buttercup, set up a Patreon. We'll raise one butt cheek at a time. It's like getting one breast enhancement. It would really be quite pointless.
People have butt implants, you know.
Yeah, I have no idea why. You are what you are.
Oh.
You is what you is.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have acreage again, but just,
Well, we're going to have
Well,
acreage, but it's going to be minimised.
yeah. Well, you can pay ours too, Chamo, then. Yeah, we want proof, Butty.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
You know you're getting old when you're brushing your teeth and your bum wobbles. And then it doesn't stop when you finish brushing your teeth.
Right. I hadn't noticed that, but I'll do a video.
What's a quarter mile? What's that in kilometres?
I think he said half a mile, which is about a kilometre.
Gee, I used to walk 3 miles one way just to buy an ice cream when I was younger.
There's an Australian word used, and you would have heard it before. Cooey. Literally, people lived a long way away from each other, 4 or 5 miles.
There you go, VMAX.
But they'd scream out, cooey.
VMAX wants to see you.
VMAC wants to see me.
Yeah, she said this eye wants to behold nice biceps, blue eyes and tall. Isn't that you?
I'll Google it.
And Adam said, whenever...
Where's VMAC? VMAC, are you there? Hello. Pretty camera.
There you go, VMAC.
There you go, VMAC. I still got a bit. I think it used to be more, but that's all you're getting. I could do my butt cheek, but that would just be trying to be silly. Now it's your turn, VMAC. Turn your camera on. No, never. I shall never reveal myself to the world.
Adam said you can sing him wherever I roam, wherever I may roam, by Metallica.
I'm not into heavy metal. And they stole that song anyway, Adam. Julie Andrews sang that, I think. And Whoopi Goldberg. They all stole it. Thieves, all of them. Wherever I will roam. Da, 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 da.
I don't even think you know
But-
the Metallica song.
Well, that's just like Johnny Cash sang the 9 Inch Nails song, Hurt. It was definitely sung differently by 9 Inch Nails, but Johnny Cash did a ripper version, for sure. Should take my hair out. I just need to be driving a open-aired Corvette now that could blow in the breeze. It's a bit tight, actually, after a while.
Where I lay my head is home.
That's a country song. Can you do that, VMAC? Have you seen the price of gas?
Oh my God, now you're just going to give her nightmares.
Well, unlike many people, I still got some.
Just,
I am the Wizard of Oz. Remember that. Yes. I used to have when I was younger. Actually, do you want to go and get that picture today that she tried to scare me with?
oh my God, yeah.
When I used to wear suits. All right. Now this is probably when I was what 40 something. But yeah. What did VMAX say? I need to know what VMAX said.
She wants to see more of your biceps.
Why?
She did it.
Got another one over here. Doing my pics. There you go. No, I'm not. I'm just said that. But she had some old photos. I used to be on a wall in a big office. Named. Ooh, look at that guy. He's really good at what he does. Pompous. I used to get all these awards, and they used to get really annoyed with me. Are you going to come in the office and pick it up? I go, no, just take the label off and give it to someone else. I couldn't understand that. I was never interested in those trinkets. I always used to say to the person that I worked for, I said, if you want to pat me on the back, make sure there are $100 bills in it. Because I don't need all the... no, I don't. You don't get to twerk at him. You're not my kind of man. My kind of man has breasts and a vava. I've had motorcycles before. Quite a few. When you get to be old as me, Dave, you have lots of stuff that you've done in life. It's just how it is. I always find it quite funny. You see blokes that do this, and for one moment they think no one notices. Like, that looks really natural. If you're losing your hair, and I will eventually lose mine, I'm not pretending that won't happen, but just let it be. You know, you should never worry about how you look. You should be yourself, because there's no point in trying to be something you're not. See, Rosie has tartars. Well, most middle-aged men do, Shamo. What's your point? It's true. You ever seen 50-year-old men at the beach? They guys should wear a bra. And that's formed naturally. Yes, I might shave my beard off. If that buttercup ever lands at the local airport in the future, she's expecting this. I'll be bald, no beard. My wife's going to scare you now. Here it comes. Now remember, be kind. What colour is your hair? Are you talking to me? You must be talking about someone else. I'm 6'5" and I do have blue eyes.
I got to show this one first.
Well, it's not. I've got to turn the camera around. Oh, so I just said I'd turn the camera around and now you've moved it. No, you're probably better off putting it around here. I would have been probably, oh, I don't know, 25, 26 years of age, going to a fancy dress. I have no idea what I'm dressed up as, but that guy next to me is about 6 foot tall.
You're the one in the blue pants.
I know, I'm saying the guy next to me is about 6 foot tall. And he's wearing a nappy, which is a worry. So actually got another one here. Which one's this from? Same, I think same party. Now this one, B-Mac, you behave yourself, okay? This is when you're going to say something, B-Mac. I know you, all right? I'm watching you. Got my eye on you.
There he is without a beard.
Come on, I'm waiting, V-Mac.
Yes, he is. He's 6'5", Dave.
There you go. That's for V-Mac's comment, yeah. This is a funny one. I don't know where you found all these.
Well, I'm going through the boxes. Been packed up for 2 years.
That's when I was a prison officer. Oh, it's a bit glary. I might get you to hold them when I turn the camera around. Be a lot easier. See how short that hair is?
Actually, it's less light this way. So VMAX said that's a really nice pic of the other one.
And this is a mate of mine. He's about 6 foot tall, but he actually jumped in the air as the photograph was being taken.
The light this way is not as good as the other way.
Turn it around this way. That might be better. Yeah, he was about 6 foot tall, but he felt like he was out of the picture, so he jumped up. This is another mate of mine. He's actually a pilot. This would have been about 1996, roughly. He only stayed in the uniform for about a year and he got sick of it. He's on the left and I'm on the right, depending which way you get. I'm wearing glasses.
It's actually
Pretty blurry.
Khaki colour VMAX. That's because facing it this way is no good. You have to face it the other way.
And here I am about 24, 25 years of age, and I'm going to show you what a jewfish looks like. That's a West Australian jewfish. So there you go, the privileged few. Of course, copies of these can be bought for $55 with free postage, particularly of the fish. All right, VMAC. I showed you mine. No, because I had about another 6 of them I had to go and scale and fillet. So Madam, I said, take a photo. So I'm too busy. I would be fishing all of the time. No begging here, Shemo. You used to be 6'2" until you injured yourself. Did both feet get cut off? What's the go there? I know, your head got taken off from the eyebrows up. What's that one? Ah, that's cutie. Look at this one. As you can see, her hair was always curly.
I don't know how old I was there.
12.
I was not. No, I was about 25, 26, I think.
VMAC, you're very quiet. Are you getting your photos out and about to go live?
I wasn't 12, I was about, yeah, it would have been about 26. Red hair. Thanks, Butty. VMAC. I am cute, aren't I? Not modest either, am I?
And modest, yes.
Man, yeah, we could sit down one day and just put, you can hold it. Man, some of the photos I've found, gee.
She's still a hottie. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Except the toothbrush wiggle bum thing.
That's because I'm older now. My bum wobbles when I brush my teeth.
Hello, Patty.
I said, Patty went away for a while.
I just put some photos. Well, my wife got some photos of me and put them up, and then she put one of her up.
Yeah, and actually my hair's not that red anymore, is it? It's more a strawberry blonde now.
Sort of
It
distantly,
depends.
sort of,
Yeah.
the strawberry blonde's trying to go grey. Come on, VMAC, I showed you mine.
I don't know, we don't care.
No, actually, I know
mean,
you brought
I
a photo out last year with me playing the guitar when I was like 14.
Yeah, that I haven't come across that yet.
Yeah.
That's probably with the one where you're 14 or 15 looking through Playboy.
Yes.
I have a picture of that.
I was
as
only
well.
reading the articles.
No, you weren't.
I were, because I couldn't.
I were.
I was photo blind.
No, that doesn't bother us, Adam. If somebody, either of us, doesn't care what sex it is, if we see something nice about somebody or whatever, we will compliment them and say so. It's like Seeds has no problem showing Butty his legs
Only
in
late.
bed
Only late at night.
when he's in bed.
Pay for view. You know what I mean.
VMAC, you don't have to. Seeds just teasing you.
So when we do get to Canada and we do get to be in your area, British Columbia, and we just happen to be down the street, are you the one that's going to be wearing a paper bag over your head and say, "Hi Seeds, hi Mr. Seeds, take the paper bag"? No, I'm never taking the paper bag off. It's not going to happen. Not on my watch.
Yes, he was a prison officer.
Yes, prison officer, and on occasions I ran the prison.
No, there was many years that we never went on cam either. You want it, you want
No.
it. You don't, you don't.
Yeah, I believe anonymity is determined. In other words, if you never want to be on camera or never want your picture known, you have every right to do so. It is wrong for others to insist. Like I've seen it, you guys have seen it. Go on cam, go on cam.
No, you don't know.
Just say no, thank you. Imbecile.
Yeah, so when I'm a bit organised, she's got heaps to do. We'll take you down memory lane and we'll show you some of the old
I was giving you an alibi. You've just blown it, VMAC. All right?
It was trying to cover for you.
I know where you live on the peninsula, but I said BC just to throw them off. But no, you've just buggered it all up, haven't you? Evil, evil. That's a English sailor's ditty. It's a bit like a lot of people think Tooraloo.
I'll come to South Australia. That's what
Tooraloo,
Isn't it
Roo,
Scarlet?
right, singing Tooraloo, Rala. Da, 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 da. A lot of early
that's-
Australian songs are Irish based, believe it or not.
And yeah, each state has a similar tune with their state name in it, because there's one something to do bound for South Australia.
BMAC lives in a bunker, 36 degrees north. That's right, where polar bears fear to tread.
No, because Rima can't let on where she is, because then then you'll all be after her chocolate.
I've never been frightened of threats from anyone or things like that, because the truth is much more often in my life, if I've ever had a blue, it's been there and then fight. And just fortunate, I am 6'5", so not many of the occasions was I lying on the ground.
No.
But the point being is, you don't have to be what other people want you to be. It's like other people's expectations. They're theirs, not yours. And you get people that become like sheep, and they will agree to the nonsense of whatever it is at the time, so they can be with the herd. Stand tall, be yourself, and say, it's okay to say no. Looking at my back door. People wondering, da-da-da-da. If you live for other people's expectations, you're not living your life. You're complying to in many cases, just a delusion. Oh yeah, nothing like my auntie Nora from Edinburgh. Nothing like her. She speaks about 4,000 words a minute. And as a child, I would just nod. That way, I'd cover myself, whatever she was saying.
I'll have to start wearing my Easter ears shortly.
I think Easter's going to come and go without much hurrah, to be
It
honest.
doesn't matter, I can still put my ears on around the house. I can pretend.
Yes, you're
That's
now
me.
a Sassenach,
Sassenach.
which is, it's one of those weird things. There are interpretations of it, Buttercup, and it's like, it could be someone from England, now moving around Scotland, or it could be a Scotsman or woman who moves south to England, and you will be called a Sassenach, which is a bit of a derogatory name, actually.
But not in the movie, the series we were watching.
Well, that's an endearment that he uses. Jamie says, "Here, come here, Sassenach, and I give you a good damn rogering." Forget about the script.
Like the two Canadian girls on our trip. Man, they loved that series.
Can I tell you that if I have an accent? Wee lass, I've never heard anything like it. You sound very proper. You sound Welsh. Yes, you become Welsh. Never.
Yes, but he has an accent.
Actually, the truth is, and Buttercup knows this, there are not many people who come from the Highlands, because there was not that many people who ever lived in the Highlands. Is there a reason for that? Yes, it's extremely fucking cold. Only the family McFrozen came from the Highlands. No, you don't. I'm just having a land here. I was just faffing around. It's true, though, and you know it, that a lot of Scottish people know they talk a lot quicker than most nationalities, but they try and slow down when they speak to Sassenachs because they think they won't understand them. I had, combat training from my auntie Nora. Because she was just like those again. Don't forget to go to your ear. And I, as a child, would sit there and nod. Yes, auntie. Now I haven't a clue what she was saying, but I would nod anyway. I'm gonna get a Glasgow kiss. Right on the bridge of the nose. It's on.
What, Buddy? What did you say? I'm
A lot of
gonna
Scots went to
eat
Canada.
a Glasgow kiss.
It's what a Glasgow kiss is the northern version of the Liverpool kiss. Isn't that right, Buttercup? Probably with a bit more force. Means I put my forehead into your nose with great force.
Oh, I thought.
That's
she
a Glaswegian kiss.
I thought she was giving us all a kiss.
You go further south, you get Liverpool kiss. Yeah.
Oh, Scotland is Adam.
Beautiful.
I want to go back there. Loved it all of it.
One thing that I've realised is that most of the Celts, and I include all the Celts, love life. In other words, they take the simple pleasures of life and enjoy them. A lot of it has to do with drinking, but community, dancing. A lot of the Celts love dancing, trust me. The English are a little bit more sort of head up the bum type thing. It's very stoic and like, well, the Irish, no, we don't do that. The Irish love dancing and singing. The Scottish love dancing and singing. The Welsh do. All the Celts. But the English, no, we don't do that here. No. Have a cigar and a port. Just dribble crap for a couple of hours. Yeah, it's none of this dancing nonsense.
Max people came from the Highlands to NS.
Nova Scotia.
More like chased by the English.
Yeah, it's the black flies and midges of Canada. It's not really a tourism ad, is it? I've got a feeling I know what clan that VMAC came from, Buttercup. Do you remember those guys that used to paint themselves blue? See if you can come up with the tribal name.
Oh,
VMAC might know.
That was, what's the name? I'm picturing the movie now.
It's a simple 3-letter word. Well, if you throw an S on there, it's 4, I suppose. But that's how it reminds me of. That's where VMAC would have come from. The Picts, ferocious.
Wow.
Even the Romans were fearful of the Picts. The P-I-C.
What's his name? Who painted his face blue in the movie?
Would you lie on your bed from this day till then? You're talking about Mel Gibson and Braveheart.
Yes, that's it, Braveheart.
For freedom! The true speech from a Scotsman at that time would have been, we're going to belt the English silly. Charge. The Scots have always been hard done by. Most historians who would tell the truth would say the same thing. Oh, we're having a meeting online.
An online...
Gathering of the clan is what she's saying.
Oh.
Ah. You're going to have a gathering of the clan. BMAC comes from the long line of McStappers.
Yes, Braveheart was a good movie.
Yes,
William
William Wallace.
That's it.
Too much drinking and dancing, Buttercup. VMAX is virtual, which is safer.
Highlander, yeah.
I'm sure some of you have seen that series called Viking. After the begging is done, bake some more, bake some more, bake some more.
Yeah, it's a good tune. But the comedy one was better.
It's a piss up, BMAC. A gathering of the clan. Make sure you bring 5 pigs and 5 barrels of whiskey. Do you know what? Like I said, we spoke about this before, but I do know from Scotsmen that came from Canada to here, their grandfathers telling the story that these bastards want to give them rum. They said, what's this shite? They wanted whiskey, not rum. Many a mini war was fought over that in Canada and in the USA. Rum, how dare you? In fact, in Australia, same time, rum was a monetary form. You were paid in rum.
All the convicts. I was going to do more, but I think I thought it was later than that.
My ex could spin me to a different planet. Oh, which planet? Mercury's a bit hot. Neptune's full of gas. Pluto's freezing. Ah, that'd be the Scottish. Pluto, McPluto's. The Bruce. Famous Scottish name, Bruce. Bruce is not my name. Yes. I mean, whiskey, and there are so many different types of whiskey. And there's good whiskey, and there's harsh, nasty whiskey.
There's one I didn't like in, where were we? Scotland. It was, yeah, she made us that Irish coffee or whatever it was. I didn't like
I
either
got two
of them.
types for you to try, yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't like one of them. The Scottish were very smart when they had like daughters that needed to be married, and they would go from different areas and pick out someone king who had a son so they wouldn't fight each other. Pacifier, if you like. But that was quite common. Or to increase lands, like when the king died and the daughter was still left. That of course then became the province of where the daughter came from.
Yeah, I've had that honey whiskey. I actually don't mind have that sometimes, Adam.
I knew your surname was Mac. Steve giveaway, V Mac. Dash, she says. Boulder Dash. There's a cover. I'm sticking to it.
Nearly bedtime.
Yes.
You know, it's all right, this bed getting set up tomorrow and you want to sleep in there. But there's
No, we can't.
No.
But no fitted sheets.
Well, not just that. There's no curtain on the wall.
No, I don't care.
Yeah, you get up early. I don't.
It stays dark here. A lot darker than the other room. We can sleep in Buttercup's room because we've got queen fitted sheet.
No.
What, we're not allowed to sleep in Buttercup's bed?
No.
Oh, great.
Okay, Butty. Go and wiggle that butt. Adam wants a video.
All right, clan of the McSeeds. It's time to work.
McSeeds?
I just made that up.
You didn't let me give him a kiss.
Okay.
Love yous.
Right, now that nonsense out of the way, have a great day. Be productive or just stay safe. Stay safe. Don't worry about productivity.
Yeah, I've got to give Adam a star.
Stand by. Star arriving as we speak.
Because he actually said Buttercup. He actually said the name correct.
Good people. May the force be with you.
You gonna do laundry? You want to do mine?
I have to do laundry. You're just living on the edge, V-Mac. You're a wild child. Have a good one. We'll see you another day.